Okay, hello and welcome to the Episode 2 War of the Chosen playthrough Strategic Analysis. I tried my best to cut out all the non-gameplay portion, and hopefully we'll be able to do some analysis, see if anything works out much better than it probably should have, or if there's things I would definitely do differently. Obviously, in some scenarios, it's a matter of I've already played the game before, so I know what I would do. In this case, I've been trying to play this game as though I were new to it. Of course, it's been a while, so some things I may not necessarily be thinking of. But I can definitely point out things that I hope will help people who are playing it for the first time. Alright, so basically you see the Reaper information here, which again will be in the long form video. But in the meantime, I definitely like to scout with the Reaper when they're in shadow. You can get way far up and then bring your people up behind, hopefully without activating any sort of an ambush. In this first segment of this long kind of three-part story-driven mission that takes place in Episode 2, you've got a lot of Lost, and they're the kind of the new enemy that you have to fight. So with them, the headshot is key. If you can, gives you the opportunity to take out multiple of the exact same enemy within one turn. In theory, if you have a sharpshooter with a pistol that can do enough damage and good enough aim, they could clear 30, 40 in a row. So sharpshooters are especially good on Lost missions, especially if you've upgraded their pistol weapon. See here where you see a Lost with 2 points and one with 3 points. Your regular pistol only issues 2 to 3 damage. So in this case, you would definitely want to take that shot at the 2 before taking the shot at the 3 health. Again, there's more. We got 2 at the 3 health, 1 at the 2 health. So with your sharpshooter, you would definitely go after the 2 healths first, because if you min roll, you'll still make that kill if you hit. Whereas if you're doing the 3s, the 3 health, then you have a chance of missing that with only having a 2 on your shot. But again, headshot is a very cool mechanic that they brought into War of the Chosen as the DLC to XCOM 2. I feel it's a very satisfying new mechanic where you literally have one guy can sit there and completely unload his weapon. In this case, the Ranger here could, in theory, get 4 kills. Before having to reload. Obviously, if you haven't had to move first, then you get 4 kills, reload, get 4 more kills, reload, and then you've ended your turn because you've used all your stuff. But in this case, it also doesn't hurt to maybe have someone who can do a lot of damage, like the Ranger, go ahead and shoot at those 3s when maybe your sniper or sharpshooter can use that pistol on those 2s. So that's definitely something to think about as far as who you have shooting, your order as to who you use. Again, being a turn-based game, you get to make those decisions as opposed to like a StarCraft or something where you just have to grab a bunch of guys, queue them up to a number, and say, everybody go attack that thing. So, definitely more, I guess, a slower strategic approach makes a lot of sense in this game. Now here you'll see me still doing a lot of worrying about cover. I think that's just a habit from playing this game for so long. But, in this case, it's not a bad habit to have, but unnecessary somewhat with the Lost, just because they're a melee-only unit. So if you know you're only fighting Lost, then you really don't have to seek cover. You can just go stand in the middle of the street. Throw your guy on Overwatch if you don't have any shots. Again, it's just I've played this game so many iterations from the original XCOM Microprose to XCOM to Terror of the Deep, XCOM, the rebirth here with Firaxis. more. Let's see, that was Enemy Unknown, then Enemy Within, obviously XCOM 2. XCOM 2 were the Chosen. So I have a lot of experience with this game, and definitely from long ago, trying to have something between you and the projectiles coming your way was always been a solid strategy. Again, here you could, against the Lost only, you could easily be standing out in the middle of nowhere. The key is just to make sure that they're not so close to you when you stop shooting that they can run over, because they make a pretty good distance and they pack quite a punch. I guess as a Lost, you go to Lost Gym and you work on your biceps and triceps. See here, standing out completely in the open, no problem. Also do that to increase that aim percentage, because obviously if you're standing right next to the shotgun, even as XCOM, you're highly likely to hit that. For those of you who may be somewhat new, there's a term known as "that's XCOM, baby," where you sit there and take a 95% shot at something and completely whiff. In that case, that was a 79. It hit very nicely from a nice distance, but then again, your Reapers are supposed to be expert marksmen as well, just like your sharpshooters. And of course, with your Grenadiers here, they get a lot of bullets, so they can be quite handy. The biggest problem with Grenadiers in a scenario with lots of Lost is if you start popping out those grenades, you're definitely going to have an issue of entirely too much noise, which tends to draw the Lost, so you can increase the horde numbers pretty substantially if you're playing kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. They're actually fairly agile. Even if they do fall down, they get right back up. So, and again, it's important that you kind of think through who needs to move up, who needs to shoot, who needs to just go on Overwatch. Fortunately, this particular segment and the 3 missions here are not timed. Obviously, with a timer, you've got to do a lot more. Oh man, I gotta move. So you're not allowed to certainly only worry about seeking high cover all the time, nor are you necessarily making sure that you're always in a good Overwatch ambush sort of mode, where you may have some guys up toward the front, have them go on Overwatch, have someone from the rear head up to explore a new area, and at that point maybe you unleash some people, and so you get some Overwatch shots off. This is definitely a long story mission in the 3 parts that could certainly allow you to take your time, just go up there and relax. But at the same time, you do have to be concerned in this scenario of the Lost just absolutely multiplying like bunnies. But yeah, so in this case, because you are trying not to be any louder than necessary, in this case I chose to come up here and open the door manually as opposed to kick it in. You want to try not to blow up vehicles, you want to try not to break glass, kick down doors. Just generally speaking, the noise will have them come your way a little sooner. And again, you see the habit of, well, I'm still going to get behind full cover. Where, I could easily just run all the way up. But that's the thing, especially for your first-time player, you don't know if there's only Lost out here. You assume there is, because obviously it's telling you, just Lost turn, as opposed to Lost and Advent, Lost and Advent. But it's never too early to start practicing good cover. And here's a great scenario where, you've got that car there, and it probably would have been really smart in this scenario to, okay, I'm going to lean to the right. Head over to those windows to the right of that doorway, and that way I'm firing right to left instead of left to right like happens here. Because if you'll notice, this shot starts that car on fire, which means that car is going to blow up at some point. And fortunately, it's not as though there are Advent just milling around the car admiring the paint job. So in this case, you got to sit there and look at, okay, you know, shooting that car, if that wasn't my endpoint objective, would probably not have been the best idea. Again, we just threw more bullets into the thing, so now it's going to blow up even faster. So, yeah, 30 bullets into a loss with 2 health, bit of overkill, but you know, that's what you're doing right now in this mission. So here they come. As you can see, that's a pretty good distance. Had I been too much further up, he would have been able to whack at my ranger there. And of course, there the car blows up because I was throwing rounds off into it. Which there again, if not for the fact that that was my goal point for this first third of the mission, probably would be something to take more into consideration of, man, do I really want to blow that car up when I've got, you know, another 7-8 moves to get to my destination. So, and in this case, you know, say just standing right out in the open, no need to hide. Put everybody on overwatch because I'm not necessarily going to make it to the location this time, even though in this case there was no lost in the area. But you know, it doesn't hurt to be cautious. Although, you know, sometimes, especially with the timed missions, they pretty much force you just to get on a dead run. Alright, here's the second segment of this mission, called out the cinematics. You got Mox with my sharpshooter and his bonded buddy, the specialist. Again here, not knowing exactly what the enemies are. You know, kind of hate to only just get over on the wall, but doing so I'm at least got some partial cover, hopefully, and can go on the overwatch. Yeah, see, with these two bonded, the thing is you only get to use that extra charge once a mission, so a lot of missions I won't even use it, but it's nice to, if you're in a real bind, or maybe you've got somebody who's way too far forward and all of a sudden has people flanking him, throw that throw that point out there, get that guy to maybe run back to better cover. In this case, we don't know what it is, just as alien activity. You know, so at this point you don't know, is that lost, is that advent, because it's not identified. Yeah, don't know it's a great idea necessarily to stand next to that thing, but it still acts as full cover, and I don't think it'll turn you into a lost at this point. So you're probably fine there. You know, here, definitely with Mox, looking for some options. You know, lots of places I can get to. It would have been probably smartest to pick the right-hand side of that box to allow myself some cover. But again, not knowing what the enemy is, you're out there looking. In this case, I've run up into Advent. So, fortunately, their aim... you know, they're not really aiming, they just spray fire. See here, I'm completely flanked and in the open, which is not good, but fortunately their range with their weapons is not that far. So in this case, you know, did some minor damage, got really lucky here that he took him out. Of course, then he blew him all the way up, which is another tip. Try not to stand too close to these purifiers if you're having to fight some in the future. The fact that they could blow up right next to you, or in this case, right next to a vehicle, and possibly blow the vehicle up. See here, basically it was only the angle, because Mox was up 2 floors, that kept him from getting hit right with the fire. So that was definitely a strategic error in that case. You know, again, having put him behind the box instead of in front of it, you know, might have given me that extra ability to avoid getting burnt to a crisp in the meantime. Yeah, unfortunately here, I need to take 3 damage off this guy. The shots are just terrible. You know, so definitely look around, see if I got better options. One thing to consider is you don't want to have your... you know, you don't want to have your guy standing around fire too long, because fire will spread. And once your guy catches on fire, he takes damage, has issues with aim and so forth. So definitely a better idea not to have them hanging out by fire, you know, certainly not catching on fire. Again here, I'm choosing to be more aggressive because I feel these are the only two advent I have to worry about given my prior knowledge of this mission. For you, maybe pull back to behind the building. But there again, you got to worry about him moving, getting too close to you. So I think it's a matter of, I felt the need at this point to just move forward and try to take a good shot, and hopefully, with Mox doing 3 to 4 damage, because unfortunately I can't see him anywhere but on that stupid corner. But I got a 75%, I got the 15% from the height advantage. Fortunately he blew up, but definitely don't want to have anybody snuggle up next to that truck there, because if you'll notice, it's now sparking, and that sucker is going to blow at some point. Which there again, not great as far as the lost, but that's why I went ahead and throw the aid protocol up on Mox to try to give him some protection here. And that went boom. Okay, and now obviously it's blown up, so if I want to use it for cover, much safer. Again, try not to stand on fire. Ooh, fire bad. Take that as a general point of strategy. Fire bad. Unless, of course, you're using it against the enemy, in which case fire good. So, but in the meantime, there again, we've seen 2 advent, so at this point, not a bad idea to be using cover, because we don't know if there's more. We're still trying to reach the designated area, which is further up to the right, based on the little dude icon with the arrow. And it's always fun to look around and see if maybe you see propaganda posters for yourself. One of the reasons to, maybe spend a little time taking a nice poster, because you just might see it posted somewhere. Yeah, no enemies in sight. Go ahead and just move up for the sake of moving up. That's alright. Again, Mox's grapple can certainly get you into advantageous situations in a hurry, or out of a bad situation if you can suddenly jump one way or another, where you're maybe not so in the line of fire, perhaps. And again, might have taken him around the backside. Don't know of any enemies at the moment. Should be okay.
Oh wow! Gotta get somewhere a little safer than that.
Okay, and then here there was a cutscene. So, but at this point, I'm choosing to move the specialist right up the top of that ladder. One, it puts him behind a box, so he's got half cover. But also, it's my belief and understanding that Lost cannot climb up where you are. So basically, at that point, I've effectively blocked off that particular ladder so that no Lost can walk up and whack on him. And here in a little bit, I'll be doing the same thing on the other side of that with the sharpshooter. Effectively making it where, at that point, really the Lost can't get to me. And the fact that there are no advent, and maybe, you consider that cheating, but, I consider it using the terrain effectively. Which, in this game, you get cheated enough on missed shots. so, take those little advantages when you can. So here, he's got the good height advantage.
Alright, let's hope for some successful headshots.
Height advantage 20%. Close weapon range 17%. He's got an excellent chance to just take that one out. That 20% height advantage, definitely worth taking where possible, especially when you're looking at a sniper shooting at a long distance. But it also works for everybody else.
You are. Very nice.
And make sure Mox knows how to duck. Okay, so here, I've definitely got some decisions to make. That's the thing. Your sharpshooter, obviously with the sniper rifle, is going to be able to do a lot of damage. But, once you do that damage, normally you're done. Obviously being a headshot, 2-3 damage, no problem with the big rifle. When you're doing shots at the Lost, definitely prioritize the 2, as long as you're only doing 2-3 damage. See, 2 health, managed to do what I needed to do. Obviously a 3 health, there's a 50-50 shot that you're going to hit it and not take it down. And then there's the ones with 4 or better. You know, pistol is just sort of a, I need to either finish one off that got shot, or I'm just trying to do some damage and hope that maybe some Overwatch works. So in this case, managed to take what I felt were the good shots. I'll pop him up there on that ladder. And now my sharpshooter has effectively, in combination with his bond mate, the specialist, basically there's not a loss that can get to either of them for a physical attack. And again, I just call that good use of terrain and strategy. You know, it's not my fault that that they won't climb up the ladder and swipe at your feet. But yeah, so in this case, it's a low percentage shot, but he's so far away I don't have to worry about him actually being able to get to Mox. And as it turned out, that dude on Overwatch popped him good. And so in this case, you know, I'm definitely going to have my guys who are in good defensive position go ahead and start taking some shots. Clear out as many of these things as I possibly can. If I get really lucky, clear them all out. Here it's nice, the standard rifle doing 3 to 4. Should generally be able, if we can hit, or 3 to 5, excuse me. You know, if we can hit, we can take some guys out. What's great, you know, he was still in his first, first point. He was able to do all those shots, go ahead and reload in Overwatch. He's got nothing to do. Go ahead and reload if necessary. Pop him on pistol Overwatch. Because again, they're very safe up there. And so then at this point, I've got to hold this position for 2 more rounds. So it's a matter of what's a good place to put Mox. Now again, that grapple coming in very handy. He'd have been fine there, but up there, not a single loss is going to touch him. I think it's a fantastic place to be. Plus, definitely has the height advantage. So, plus, you know, he's actually not that far away in tiles wise. So, if we're all making a run for the exit position, good place to be. Now, in this one, obviously, I know where the exit is going to be. It's usually up in this area here. I could take this opportunity while waiting for this one more turn to just make an absolute beeline for up there. But again, trying to play this in a manner in which someone who's new might be playing. You know, you've found your good defensive position. You're waiting to find out where your exit is. But I also know I'm about 2 turns away. So yeah, get everybody on Overwatch. Everybody's loaded, ready to roll. It's like, all right, y'all get up here. It's like, okay, that's the plan. So at this point, you know, I'll drop Mox down, kind of a safe methodology to look around. Then everything's clear, so we'll get up closer to our destination point. At this point, just go ahead and run the other people. There's no enemies in sight. Don't have to worry about Advent taking a shot at me. So I think this one works just fine. But, you know, go ahead and stick him on a pistol Overwatch just for the heck of it. Maybe get something weakened.
And here they go.
Looks like the break of a horse race. Everybody coming at you. So in this case, like, yep, let's just go ahead and move our people. And we'll complete segment 2 of this 3-part faction introduction story mission. And then here we are, start part 3. What I did in this case is what I've done before. When I played this setup, you know, you're on this railing, set up high, set up with overwatches, you know, looking for a good ambush position. Problem is that's not how this particular mission works out. What I think a solid strategy to be in this one would be to take both of your of your people who are good at shooting and are more effective at high ground, which is your Reaper, your Sharpshooter. Set them up by the rail. I would have put everybody else over down on the second level, probably out off to the upper right there amongst those cars. Maybe one on each side of each of the cars, so 4 other people down on the ground. I think that way they're kind of separated, close enough to help another soldier if need be. But at that point, maybe, just maybe, I get a certain chosen to set up some place where both of my sharpshooters can take a shot from high ground and maybe do some additional damage and maybe get her out of there sooner. So that was probably, I don't know, I'd call it a tactical error, because in this one, with her, because of the immune to melee, doesn't trigger Overwatcher reaction, and the fact that she's, cloaked, you're going to take damage. It's just going to happen. Obviously, getting hit from high ground is an advantage for me, but the fact is she's going to hit somebody. There's nothing you can do about it. At least I haven't figured out a way. So in this case, and even here I would have had the opportunity to go ahead and get my 2 sharpshooters high, get everybody else low and spread out. And because again, Overwatch isn't going to do squat against her because she's immune to it. She won't trigger the shots. So at that point, I really could have run anybody to the end of their yellow. There's 2 points, and really probably spread the whole group out pretty well. Hopefully give her a minimal opportunity to do anything much to me. In this case, I kind of felt I need to keep people kind of bunched up and close by in order to be able to help out whoever gets whacked by her. In the end, I could have kept 2 high, 4 low, everybody, with a pairing, but yet, cars or whatnot between them, spread out a little better. I think that'd be a more solid strategy for how to start off this third part of this mission. And that's probably the lost involved. Yeah, because all of a sudden she pops out. If she'd hit somebody down by one of those cars and stayed down there, that might have worked out way better for me as far as my ability to take shots at her. Don't know, haven't tried that yet. Probably something I'll try in a future run through. I'm actually considering doing a all ranger, an all sharpshooter, all specialist, and all technical. Who am I missing? Grenadier. Basically where that's all I train, and then I basically play a whole campaign with just with just the one class. Obviously anyone who gets promoted otherwise might be something else, but I figure, generally speaking, take out 4 of the one class and maybe 1 of a different class, just to kind of see how that works. See if that doesn't, change up the dynamics. Is it easier to win where you're only concentrating on upgrading one class's weapons? Is it harder to win because, you don't have the flexibility in your troops? It's something I've always wondered, so it's something I'm definitely considering for a future playthrough. If you have an opinion on that, please leave me a comment. Also, please like and subscribe. I'm working hard for you guys, yeah! I want to be entertaining, I want to be informative. Certainly just the regular playthroughs are more aimed at entertainment with some information. That's why I'm doing this special strategic analysis companion series, to try to really give you guys some useful tips, useful information, and maybe even make my own gameplay better as I start to think about, what am I doing? How could I do it better? So in this case, was able to take the high shot with my Reaper for a little extra damage. Came around to my specialist and said, yeah, let's go ahead and heal up the guy that just got wailed on by her big ugly sword. That way, at least if he takes a second hit, it's not an instant KO. Certainly would hate to lose someone in my, only the second major mission. So, there again, that's also playing it a little bit conservative. Here I don't think there's a problem with setting up in cover, because she has different abilities. One thing I definitely learned from this one, and you'll see it here coming up, is that you can't overly bunch your troops around her. She will more than take advantage of that and mess with you. There again, the the poor shots, because she's in the full cover, don't help. Like I said, I'll generally try to take a 35 or better. Don't want to take a worse shot if possible. Problem is with her, you're not going to get an Overwatch shot. So sometimes even a garbage shot, that's what you've got. You might as well throw it out there. Maybe you connect. Or, worst case scenario, if you're running low on ammo and you can't do anything useful, go ahead and reload. But yeah, here, I've got my people too bunched up, and it cost me. Because that's a pretty wide swath for that blinding grenade there. And now I got 3 people whose ability to shoot at her is very limited. And so basically I'm stuck kind of getting right up next to her in order to try to take a shot. At least I know that that's going to be kind of cover. But, not good. Turns out I got lucky with the 61%. Not even a crit. I don't know that you can crit when you're blinded. See, but even here, probably should have taken her further away in order to not have her just toss another grenade. Granted, I don't know how many she has. I don't know how often she can shoot them. But the fact that I'm stuck with a 48% shot and a miss, just not good. Now here, I actually thought was a good piece of strategy in that after thinking about it a bit, I was like, instead of bunching up everybody over here, maybe getting everybody blinded again, I was like, I can go around the other side. Which, as it turned out, not a bad idea. Always pay attention to the available positions. Problem is, but there again, pretty much anywhere I go with any of them right now, it's not like I've got the ability to overwatch, so I'm going to get flanked. In this case, able to take a flank shot, 73% chance to hit, got that nice crit in there. And actually that was enough to get her to Vominos. But the problem is, then basically she rang the dinner bell and the lost her all over the place now. So now basically you just got to get all your people to the extraction point while the little satellite there that fell down is ringing the dinner bell, being extra loud. So you certainly don't want to just be extra slow, but there again, take your shots where you can. Right now, making use of my sharpshooter's abilities. Shoot anything with the best option. Because again, now anything I'm shooting is going to be 2 to 3, and I've got 3s left. Probably didn't do these in the best possible order, but I think I went with the highest percentage shots. In this case, lucked out, got the 3 instead of the 2. And so, okay, let's try that again. And Mr. Diaz just went absolutely Pro Bowl. Full on MVP. Just start mowing them down like it's a shooting gallery. So now it's time to start moving people up, especially since I got people blinded. Can't really go that far, so at that point, probably makes sense to either find them a good spot to hide or stick them on Overwatch. I think in this case, just decided, I'll just stick him right in the corner. Maybe I can keep other people close enough to him to overwatch for him. Again, you can't see squat, don't know what you're running up to, so just move him up there. Obviously, she's gone, don't have to worry. Yeah, looking to see what the penalty was. Sometimes that gives you useful information, obviously, just, they're blinded, not so much. Then lets you know, yep, more lost are coming away, and then finally the blinded goes away. Very handy at this point. So yeah, got to figure out, okay, what direction do I want to try to go? In this case, it seemed like, okay, maybe go up that way, go through there. you never know, because until you find them, you're not quite sure where the lost are.
See anything more?
Of course, as long as you're not seeing anything, you can certainly move people up a little further, a little faster.
Reload.
So in her case, you know, let's go ahead and reload,
Shoot more later.
and then we'll move up,
I am trusting you.
because we know there's lost coming. So if you can reload somebody who's low, doesn't hurt to do that. He's still got 3 shots, plus he needs to pick up a lot of ground. Go ahead and run him. You know, the sniper, just trying to figure out where's a good spot. Yeah, that's kind of out wide. And, you know, being pistol shooting, probably not that big of a deal at that point. Can't even see anybody, so, you know, make the extra distance. Get Mox moved up. Go and Overwatch with him. And, you know, again, don't really need to worry about cover so much. So just move him up, since it is just lost. Of course, cover wouldn't really work too much with Garai Valinor anyway, because she's going to pop out on you. So it doesn't matter where you are. See, so there, the Overwatch paid off. We know there's a whole lot in that little storefront there. So again, not too worried about cover. Just move him up, put him on Overwatch. Same with her. At this point, you know, making distance toward that extraction point is probably the bigger priority. In this case, you know, you got your bonded pair, so go ahead and move the one up. It's always creepy to watch the things just fall down into dust. It's like, nope, that didn't help. Like I said, we know we can see one, trying to find a place that we can maybe find him and shoot him. Okay, as you can tell by that little target that pops up next to the HP. See, take that shot, but he only got 3 that time, so we know he'll be coming for us. Actually, misclicked there, but good enough for an Overwatch. And just go ahead and run him up, because he's still kind of a little behind everybody else. And we know something's about to come at us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot of lost. Of course, he's going to pop out. We're going to use a lot of bullets. But that's where the Overwatch pays off. And of course, here they go wild. This is where your Overwatch is paying off again. But that's the thing, not every Overwatch shot is going to hit. I have to look it up. I think there is some sort of an aim penalty for the Overwatch. Just because instead of being, you know, taking the time to aim, you're just sitting there and you know, you're scanning, you take a quick reaction shot. So I think that's just the nature of that particular beast. Then again, if you have no targets at the time you're doing it, Overwatch is still better than just not doing anything. There again, you know, looking to figure what's your better shot.
Start there.
See, much better when she had the time to aim.
Remember, they are not victims. My ammunition a minute depleted.
Yep, go and Overwatch her, just because we know we got one in there. We'd like to be able to see it and shoot it. So you gotta look for a spot that'll allow you to do just that. And take the shot.
There we go. Very nice.
At this point, trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to get over to that evac point? This particular area, you know, there just looks horrible. Especially now. You know, and you're hoping that your Overwatch shots will take out at least a couple of them. But there again, you know, if you get too close, you're going to end up getting wailed on. So, got to be careful there. Again, with just the loss, the cover doesn't matter. But getting too far too fast, no Overwatch, not taking out the opponent, that's a problem. Just like that missed shot right there. That's okay, Mr. Diaz did particularly well this mission. We'll give him the occasional miss. Because he was quite the beast. Alright, Mox did well. Go ahead and Overwatch. Again, you got to keep moving people up as much as you possibly can. Try to see if you can... Because the problem is the Lost aren't going to quit coming. That's not a thing that happens in these particular scenarios. Unlike Advent, where, there's maybe 10, 12, 14, however many assigned to a particular map or mission, you could literally sit there and shoot Lost all day long. I don't know why you'd want to, because I think at some point they're going to overwhelm you. And I don't know that XCOM lets you do the power leveling, like some games do, where, yeah, we're just going to sit here next to the exit and shoot Lost for 45 minutes. I just don't think that's how this one works. I think there's probably some sort of a cap built in. I might have to look into that. But yeah, honestly, if half of your Overwatch shots hit, you're probably doing good. But see, look at that. Got right next to my guy. That would not have been good. There again, that's why you don't want to have people get too far out by themselves. Because what if my sharpshooter there had to try to do a pistol shot at that range against somebody with a 3 and only hit a 2. At that point, he's going to get smacked, or you're going to have to try to run over there in order to try to help him out. So at this point, I'm sitting there thinking, alright, where do I go? Where do I go? How am I going to get out of here? And I start to think, because you can see it out the window. It looks like a nice workaround, so I'm not having to go through what appears to be just a continuous stream of Lost going through that other storefront. Not sure it's not some kind of cafe. And so in this case, just looking to, alright, start moving people up. Go ahead and stack the landing for the fire escape there. Get a nice cluster in range to move out. Get the other group kind of set up and ready to go. You gotta look at your percentage shots. In that case, yeah, let's go ahead and see if he can do some stuff with the big gun. There you go. And like I said, we'll give him the occasional miss shot with his pistol, considering how well he seems to be doing with the sniper rifle. Because I gotta tell you, I didn't count it, but he put down a lot of loss this mission. Definitely made it easier for the rest of the group to keep moving. That's why I particularly love to have have snipers on missions where I know there's gonna be Lost. Especially if I've had the ability to upgrade their pistols. Because at some point you can get pistols that I think do 4 to 6 damage, which will take out most Lost with a min shot, if not a max roll. And that certainly allows them to just pick off Lost after Lost after Lost. See, I got 3 in kind of close to each other. I got 3 up and ready to move. So... we're about to make that move for the extraction point. We've spent plenty of time shooting. Now it's time to get ready to get on out of here. See, again, if that pistol had been a 4 or better damage, could have taken him down. Fortunately, 800 shots does the job. Which there again, your grenadiers with their heavy ability to fire a lot of rounds tend to do fairly well against the Lost, just because of just the law of averages, I suppose. Alright, so now it's time to make our move, because it looks like we can basically get all the way there in 1, out in 2, but we've got some guys laying behind, so we don't want to rush out quite that fast. Yeah, got to get through the window, which, makes some noise. Not necessarily the best. But, we're hoping that that room is not just absolutely stacked full of Lost like it is downstairs. Of course, it doesn't help when your dude's like, yeah, I'm going to go through a window too. Go ahead and pop over to Mox, get him moved up, so I can have room to get everybody else up that fire escape. Yeah, in this case, decided to go ahead and move him up in order to get the safe position. But I got him up far enough, and now I can do the reload. So, because I'd hate to have done the reload first and have him not be able to actually get up the ladder there, and then he's still stuck down there. So I felt that was a much better choice. Okay, yeah, go ahead and bring him on up. Definitely make sure we get him far enough up that our sharpshooter can follow. Yep, let's get out of the street where we're all kinds of surrounded by Lost. Upsie daisy. Alright. Now we're in a good position to make our move into the next room and toward the landing. Oh, we've disturbed things. Yeah, so there's 5 more. We don't know how many are still left in the other room. Hopefully none, but it's definitely a concern. In this case, she can get all the way there, still have the ability to overwatch, or take a shot if necessary. And there's a dude hanging out back there. Fortunately, it's only the one dude. We'd hate for there to be a dozen. In which case, maybe you do use one of those grenades. But no. In this case, just brought my guy around. So he'd be in a, hopefully, a good position. Certainly at that distance, he should have a decent shot. Yeah, I got 88. Go ahead and hit for 2, no problem. Got the 5 damage. And being a headshot, he's still able to move, so that actually worked out really nicely. We see there are more dudes below, which is why I'm now going to absolutely pack the fire escape here, because I don't want them being able to crawl up the ladder and start wailing on my people. I think that one left corner position is the only one that you have to fill. But there again, why not go ahead and get all my people up here, because I know I don't have Advent to deal with. So let's go ahead and move them on up, get ready to pop out of here next turn. And last guy, there you go. Love the phantom door. Yeah, and here comes more. Had her on Overwatch, she'll get a shot, takes one down. And that one's going to wait for the bus. That will never come. So at this point, I know I should be able to pop everybody down and out. You know, I'm right on top of the evac, so that works out well for me. So he's kind of blocked, so he ends up going back in the building, back out the window. There we go. And yeah, so that basically concludes this 3-part mission. Gonna get people out, maybe take a few shots where I can. You know, a little extra XP if available. Doesn't hurt. There we go. Yeah, you know, in the end, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you like and subscribe. You know, certainly share, tell your friends. Any gamers you know that have played this game or maybe have just heard of this game and might want to. Hopefully I've been very informative for you around this strategic analysis. Hope you've enjoyed going through this with me. Again, this was a long one, even with all the or as much as the story parts cut out, just so that we could get straight to the combat itself. As it turned out, you know, it's a lot of stuff. This particular mission being kind of 3 parts, it's a lengthy one. But definitely kind of sets up for future. Great opportunity to you know, definitely level up some guys. You know, max out your XP on this mission for sure. I don't know if there's a max per mission. Again, those are things I should probably look up for future reference. But I think I did well. Only took the 1 injury. Managed to get that guy out safely. You know, thanks to having the ability to to use the med. So yeah, get out the last guy and off we go. Obviously, once you reach everybody to your destination, you can't keep shooting, but I'm not sure there's anything still standing, so not really a problem. And then we clear. Alright, so Dragonova earned a promotion as she became a new member of the team. Remote start is great if you want to blow up a vehicle. Pick a vehicle, blow it up, especially if Advent's standing nearby. Great to do. Not great if Lost are hanging around. Definitely not. Blood Trail has its value, but I really love Hollow Target in this case. Adding that 15 aim, and that's kind of permanent. You know, it's kind of like how in the first mission we got marked. You know, that stays on there for, I don't know if it's permanent, but it definitely stays on there for several rounds. So the fact that I could have her shoot at something first and everybody else gets plus 15 aim against it, definitely help with something large with lots of XP, or if just something needs to die, which you'll definitely see in an upcoming episode. Something that needed to die had plus 15 aim sitting on it, so that helped. Again, here he was great shooting with his pistol against the Lost. Definitely want to continue working him on the gunslinger side. For my specialist, I'm definitely going full battle medic for the first one. That revival protocol could have been used with that one soldier before. In fact, I could have done revival and then medical, and then basically had him awake and healed and ready to go. Unfortunately, Mr. Thompson took that big shot from her sword. He's not feeling good, but the ability to remove armor from enemies I feel is very valuable, so I'm choosing to have him go heavy gunner, and went with the shredder. Some things have 2, 3, 4, 5 points of armor. So if you hit something with a 5 point of armor and you hit it with a 6, you do 1 whole point of damage. Being able to shred that off and then start doing real damage to something large and in charge, definitely helpful. Again, Mr. Phillips as my first ranger, definitely going the assault mode. The shadow step basically is just like Gurai Valinor's ability to not trigger Overwatch or reaction shots. Basically having him run in and slash someone who's on Overwatch, super helpful. Maximum ninja mode. Ninja mode to samurai mode all in once. So there we go. Thanks again. Like, subscribe. Really appreciate it. Yeah, let's go ahead and increase that squad size. Now I get to have 5 guys instead of 4. Super handy. So thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Hope you'll come back for episodes 3's strategic analysis. Shoot straight. Seek high cover. Happy gaming. Appreciate you all.